with the Map Rando weekly randomizer race, big open community race where anyone can join. The settings are going to be hard tricky though, so you have to be a little bit good at the game. And what we have here is some of our strong competitors, Path and Super Sponge, and they're going to be 1v1ing it for us. This is our look into the overall race. There's 8 entrants here, and playing getting started. That's mostly with the SpeedGaming tools. And right now we're just waiting for the stream delay. We keep these streams buffered so there's no interruptions. And it looks like there's about a second spacing between the runners. So I'm gonna have to press that button too. And they're off. Going left. Strong choice. And space jump is our item. It's about 1.5 actually. Not exactly, but that is how precise my math is going to be right now. So space jump, that means you go top right. There it is. Speed booster, cool. Oh, if only Path knew that down here was early supers. So we are on hard, tricky. The objective is bosses. Maps are tame. Don't usually talk about the map settings. That's what it is. That is a morph locked map. Sponge skating along with the speed booster. A little funny. So one important thing to know about tricky is that means you need to use an item to reach the next progression item. So there's usually, especially in the early game, there's going to be one progression item placed, and you need to find it. And everything else is going to be placed as filler, usually. And so... Oh, we get crab there on Sponge's head. So that means you get the space jump, and that means you go top right of ship, because space jump lets you do that. And the bottom right items are either not reachable or are going to be filler. There is a very early E-tank that's always placed, and that is the item under the crumble bridge, because you can get to that location, but you can't get out. So it's always going to be filler in that case. Jumping back up through the crumbles is a expert level trick, I think. It might be very hard. But then running through the gates, 6 Shine Spark, is something that Speed Booster lets you do. If they had Morph, then you could Mock Ball. But we don't have Morph, and without Morph, running through, if you don't have Speed Booster, is an extreme. Okay. It's kind of possible to get that pit room item. It can be a lot easier with power bombs. That's something that the dev team is working on right now, is ways of carrying the temporary blue effect from Speed Booster across rooms. And so this would be a case for that, where you could run along the runway in early supers, and then you crouch to keep temporary blue, then jump through the door and bring it into the next room. But all those strats are going in like extreme and insane, just because they're really tedious. So we have power bombs. We are 4 minutes in. Sponge has a bit of a lead. Powerbomb. Also has that extra pack already. Then they're both gonna keep the E-Tank, so not too scary going forward, but we'll see if they are expected to do something with the extra energy. The idea of the very early E-Tank is for comfort, mostly. But when it does come up that they are expected to do a heat run, then it would expect you to use all of your energy, like have all that as available for the level of a hard difficulty player. But both of these runners, Path and Sponge, are going to be a little bit stronger than hard level. Okay. It looks like you want to go left of ship. And this is a situation where you reset to the ship. Path is going to blind check it. So I'm going to save a bit of time doing this. And Various Suit is the item. Okay. So probably don't need to worry about your energy too much anymore. Heat Rooms is the biggest use of it. Vari also gives half damage reduction from like running into enemies and spikes and all that. So you're going to be much safer with Various Suit. But if Logic does expect you to be spending energy, those are going to be a lot scarier. So we have the Butterfly Room here. It's a bit of an interesting one logically. To get from left to right in this case, you would either do a Shine Spark or use a Power Bomb to push you through the door. Because if you use a Power Bomb in a dry room, go through a door, and then you're in a wet room, you get a big speed boost. And then the return path would be to come from above. So that's how Butterfly Room is in Logic right now. They both have the map, and they're both actually very close together, so it looks like we have a good pick for the race. It was worth the extra delay. Gravity Suit, interesting. So, one would think that we're in for a fast seed, but we don't have missiles or supers yet. There's missiles to the left, they are reachable. Missiles, Lava Dive, exciting. And then Everest with another major. Right now, you need to pay attention to your colored doors on the map. Going down, there is a pink door. And so you need to detour for missiles first. And I think there's two choices. And the one Sponge is at is a little bit closer. The Sponge gets the missiles, can open those pink doors. You do only need one missile pack for the ammo doors. But you do need to pay attention to having less than 5 missiles. 6 speedball from Path. And we are neck and neck. Sponge getting some health, it looks like. With both suits, you're not going to be taking damage in Lava Dive. So that's not a concern. Next we have Cathedral. The missile pack in Cathedral's kind of worth getting right now. Oh, you're going to see the double item drop of these rocket bats. Please? Yeah, that one had it. The top one had double drops. So hit them with a power bomb, you get 2 drops. Sponge gets a missile and an energy. Okay, and then here's our next major. The majors are the big dots, the big filled in dots. Charge beam. Well, well, well. Speed, go fast. Then we get a nice save here. You want to save whenever you need to make a decision. Okay. So we have a boss on the right. That is Dragon. I don't know if they want to do Dragon right now. It's not going to be a fast fight. Even with speed, Dragon hits pretty hard for this amount of energy. Oh, half waiting at the crab. So Map Rando expands or like enlarges the crab tunnel there to make it so you can stand up, and that allows it to be a room where you can connect to other doors, like any door at all. So that's how we deal with morph tunnel transitions. 20 missiles, 5 supers. I feel like that's not actually too bad a fight. But it entirely depends on how good you are at farming. Or your shine sparks could be... Yeah. If you can do the shine sparks without getting contact damage from Dragon, then that's pretty safe. Supers. Nice. But, you know, not everyone's going to be the same level of practice at the Dragon fight. At every variation of the Dragon fight. So we're going to have Path choosing to explore and pick up items. Over here is a major, and there's 2 hollows. The top hollow is pretty free. Bottom hollow has a bit of a grip. And kind of wondering how Sponge plays the fight. You really want to open with the Shine Spark, because that's worth so much damage. But after that, it's really easy to take extra contact damage when trying to do Shine Sparks. Or otherwise lose time getting gooped or whatever. So from here, I think you want to mostly farm the goops or missile drops. Unfortunately, 1 health missing, so not guaranteed to get missiles. Could do some pseudo screws, but the risk there is you're going to be taking a hit from Dragon every time. And with 2 suits, it's 40 damage per hit. And the worst position to be in for the Dragon fight is when you're close to dying. If your health gets low enough that you're worried about dying, then you're going to be getting less useful drops. You can't do your fast strats anymore. Uh, 35-10. We get morph bombs. At 15 power bombs, kind of meh. And we have space jump. I think I do want to see Path go and kill Dragon before leaving the zone, though. At 40-10, I think you can do the missile quick kill fairly comfortably with the Shine Spark. But probably would want to farm before entering the fight. Sponge is farming fairly well. Yeah, sparking into the wall is a common way to take extra contact damage. I don't really like these finishing Shrine Sparks at all. This is when Dragons can be harder to hit, and you're more likely to take that damage. Plus, when you do kill Dragon, then you definitely take another hit. And I think that most people don't skip Blue Suit. But if you get Blue Suit, you're going to take even more hits. And I think actually in map Rando, you want to try to skip the Blue Suit most of the time. Okay, he does get the kill down. And you can see the time difference of just how long that took. Path explored the entire zone. And is now about to enter the fight. Get some power bombs here. Not useful. And we'll see how much Sponge decides to explore, as well as how different this fight looks. As another reserve for safety, lots of ammo. Sponge did not get the opening Shine Spark. And hopefully Path can do it. It's worth like 2,000 damage if you do it well. It is pretty hard to do without a high jump. And actually, if you're further away, I think you hit fewer times because you're going to have more speed by the time you reach Dragon. Okay. Getting those supers in, I don't think was worth at this point. But Dragon's very close to dead already. Okay. Yeah, that's a dead Dragon already. So the supers were fine. The plan was always to just do a fast ammo fight. But definitely a faster fight. Not going for the hollow is interesting. I think supers and E-tanks are still useful now. The reason not to go for the hollow is if you're playing like it's a extremely fast seed, because it is. But then this farming, I don't know how much I like this farming. But you saw the fight was much faster for Path. The items that Sponge is picking up now are going to have lower value because they're not being used for Dragon. So you want to go right for the major and the nearby hollow. Potentially. At one E-tank, you do need more E-tanks to finish the game. So reserve is good. So we have just over 17 minutes. Path is into Torian. Yep, the orange one. And gonna go straight for the map. Ah, Ridley. Unfortunate. I think technically very close to bare minimum ammo. If you like double hit and never miss and all that. But that's not a fight you do right now. It looks like that is the way to the map. Okay. Sponge is here into Torian. Only like 30 seconds behind. So not much of a gap. We have the Wasteland room. There's an item here. There's no reason to go back to Criteria, so that's why they needed to kill Dragon when they did. However, seeing that Ridley was here right at the entrance to Criteria, you could have continued to put off a Dragon if you'd peeked this. If you peeked that Ridley was there. So Sponge is doing the more expected route of heading towards the map. But it also dead ends at bottom of climb. So I think they're just picking random rooms mostly. Metroid 4 is very scary. You can think of the Metroid rooms as being completely different in map Rando. Because a lot of the time you're going to have Low resources, you don't have Ice Beam, and maybe you don't have both suits. So it feels like most of the time you die before you get the bomb off to knock off a Metroid. They're just a lot scarier. Completely avoiding Metroids is in very hard though. So that is something that they might have practiced. More relevantly to right now is that they have Charge Beam. And that means you can do pseudo screws, and that works on Metroids. As in, it will knock them away. And that's going to be in logic as a way to avoid Metroid damage. Just like using power bombs to pass through Disgigas is in hard logic. The tech was added mostly for using plasma to pass through enemies. But it's fairly easy to use power bombs to pass through enemies too. Problem is that it's expected in Wasteland in some cases, and that's not so obvious. So we have Amphitheater at top right of Climb. There is a boss calculator on the development branch of the MapRando website. That is dev.maprando.com. And that'll help you determine what is expected for the Ridley fight that seems to be blocking the path. But it should be something like 4 or 5 tanks and 30 supers. I don't know for sure. Most of the number scaling is based on a multiplier. So we find out what's technically possible and call that the insane difficulty. And then just add multipliers until we get to where we are now on hard. So hard is 50% for heat rooms. So that kind of means your movement's going to be like take about 50% longer to go through a room. Is the expectation. We're in Norfair now. Yeah, as soon as you see Ridley's blocking the map, you want to look for another room as fast as you can. I would expect this to be a left map. Oh, are we getting vanilla Fantan? Unfortunate. I hear that's one of the rarer ones, vanilla Fantan. But there are like 4 majors right next to path and Kraid. 5 even. I didn't see the path back from the sand pits. So that's gonna be interesting. Gonna start with GT. All the rooms have a fairly... Like, all the important rooms where you want to know what room it is for sure to plan your route, they're gonna have unique shapes on the map. The heated rooms are gonna be a lighter gray color. And the water rooms have a checkered dark pattern. And then plus there's some thin lines that are added in a couple of rooms, usually with hidden walls or breakable walls. And that's pretty much all the detail needed to identify every room. Every room you need to. So we get Plasma and Wave. Excellent finds. What do you do now? I never marked Morph. Oh no. Nail block. Rough when that happens. Plasma Wave. Sponge is blind finding Plasma Wave. There's a save here. I'm thinking mostly about going back for Ridley right away. Because I don't think behind Ridley is a newer region. Whereas right here we have Meridia, and it opens up into Wreck Ship and maybe some more. So we need Phantoon and Mother Brain. Oh, did they take different entrances into Norfair? That's neat. They both have enough energy to finish the game. They both have enough weaponry to finish the game. Turn around at this Spazer. Don't need it. Maybe mark past Spazer. I thought we got bombs too. I must have forgot I was a tracker for a while. Yep, barely enough. Is this the Ridley farm? Gonna farm these violas. So in map rando, small energies are buffed to give 10 energy. And at 10 energy, it feels like a useful amount without actually being that different. 5 energy feels completely worthless. Then at 10, you're making gains. I'm pretty sure the door above would be a little bit better for farm. Bunch decides to look for more majors. It's high jump. High jump is really nice. There's a lot of exploring left. Potentially. Unless you walk right into the remaining bosses, there's a lot of exploring left. Path decides 1E tank and a half, plus your starter 99 is enough to do Ridley. It's gonna be 24 shots. And sponges into Meridia. So Meridia we saw, there's 2 sandpits that lead down into it. Each sandpit has a major. High jump. But then you gotta work a bit to get back. So Ridley is pretty safe. It's mostly the end of the fight that's gonna be scary. Where you can just take extra hits. If you take enough of those extra hits, then you would die. That's another boss kill. Right. So I like how Path is playing this. This is more like what I would do. Get the Ridley map. And skip the remaining majors. I don't think you need any more majors. But Sponge is going to explore first. And this may be okay. Taking that save would have saved a tiny amount of time. Yeah, so nothing behind Ridley. Just back out. I think it is good to take periodic saves. Just in case you get soft lock somehow. Getting some slideshow action. Sponge's side. Oh well. Sponge has come up to the map. Okay, this is not Phantoon map. So we see the way back, and also Brinstar. So that's the important thing. Already has a close Brinstar connection. So to the right of Norfair was Wreck Ship. And then to the left of Norfair is Meridia, which is like touching Brinster. And you kind of have to pick which one you want to go with too. Path doesn't know anything about Meridia, so I was just going to pick the Craig kill, it looks like. You need to go down and up through Spore Spawn. Spore Spawn guarding Craig. Fantastic. Oh, actually going the other way. If you're doing Meridia, I think you want to save. Also, it might just be good to pick one of the sand pits and get a free major on path. But you could choose to not do that and go more directly to the left. And the issue is you don't know where the map is. So you don't know if you want to be down or to the side. Sponge getting the other major. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Ice Beam. Ice. Probably the next best item. So give us some turnaround angle cancels. Nice. Ice is good for Zeb Skip. It also adds a bit of beam damage. So you're gonna have a little faster Ridley fight. I suppose I'd expect Sponge to be looking for some E-tanks. Just have a little bit more health. Ah, yes, I have to track that. It does make a lot of sense to get this Craig kill right now. Because you know one of the regions is going to connect into Brinstar. And between those two, it could have both remaining bosses. But yeah, Mickey Mouse doesn't work. The map is a little not obvious. At first glance, anyway. To the right of Crate is the toilet. And so that's not a path that connects. It goes too far down. And then to the left of Crate is the Mickey Mouse room, which is a one-way because of the crumble blocks. And that means you have to go up through Spore Spawn. With this beam, Spore Spawn is a one-shot kill. But Wave Plasma is pretty wide. You're gonna turn off. So the math says this should do 900 damage. But Spore Spawn has 960 health. That's going to be 2 shots. But it is much easier to hit the shot. Spore Spawn takes double damage from charge. Spore Spawn is weak to charge. And that's the Ridley kill. Tied up on bosses. Sponge with the major advantage. And has the Meridian info. Path. Head to Crade, though. Unfortunate. Seemed to be a little bit too quick on the missiles. That's a dead Crade. Kills him on the stand-up. And we have the Ridley map. So nothing to see here. There's a path to the right of Norfair. And that might work out to be a little closer. Pretty sure that's how Path initially got into Norfair. Okay, 3 reserves, fun. For hollow dots, they're mostly looking for health still, because when you tank isn't the most comfortable. At 10 supers, that's enough to do anything you need supers for. And plus they have 45 missiles, so Zebtites aren't really a problem. But Path doesn't have ice, and we haven't seen if speed can be used to get to Mother Brain or not, to skip the Zebs. And take it safe, kill the key hunters with Plasma Wave. Plasma Wave is a very strong beam. Could think about doing charge Plasma Wave shots, because that's going to be a bigger beam, and that means higher chance of double hitting. That kills the key hunters really fast. So this is going to be Sponge heading over to Kraid. Yeah, so I feel like Path is ahead. I think Sponge is going to do the same thing of going up here to wreck ship. If either of them sets up a save to reset to, that'd be fantastic. Probably looking for Brinstar. So yeah, gotta run over, get the wreck ship map. We don't know where Mother Brain or Fantoon are. And you definitely want to run into Fantoon first. But you can't just pick what you want like that. Here's the map. It's a water map. You can tell on the map icon. And that is Mother Brain. So actually, because that's a water map, you could peek into wreck ship and just leave, because it's not going to be a Fantoon map. That said, Path doesn't know where Brinstar is, and it could be connected to this. At least I didn't notice if they got the Meridian map. Okay, Sponge going for the one-shot kill. Has full beam. Gets it. I always forget to look at the room leading into Mother Brain. Ah, 50-10. I know that 30-15 is enough ammo to kill the Zebs and Mother Brain. One. Oh, about 50-10. Oh, got ourselves a backwards watch in. Nice. I think this is in medium with charge and wave. And probably gravity too at medium. But we are meeting almost all the mini bosses this seed. Very good. Is Craig quick kill? Yeah, in Sponge's position, you really want to set up a save, but there's like no saves anywhere. That could be a reason to go back to Aqueduct and get that save, because then you just continue to Brinstar. There's not a strong reason to pick one area over the other. But Brinstar is going to be bigger than Wrecked Ship. So if you're hoping to find both bosses, I guess a little better odds to go to Brinstar. But knowing about water map would be helpful here. The path can get the Meridian map. Not giving us an ice clip because they do not have ice. Ice was in left sandpit. High jump, right sandpit. And so what do we have? There's that Brinstar. So let's see if Sponge knows the tech. The water map tech. Popularized by Oats. Even if you do know it, it's not something that you really think is going to pay off in any given seed. It looks like Sponge is also going to go for the map get. Maybe having a thought. I think actually they noticed that this is a right side map. And so it's not going to be Fantoon. But at this point, it's a little bit better to get the map instead of skipping it. Because you need to know about Mother Brain, and you're already this close to the map. No. Maps do not show you which direction they are. So the only clues are going to come from the connecting rooms. Oh, we have a wreck ship Fantoon. Cool. Only Sponge peaked Brinstar. It was a bit of a trip to get to the Brinstar transition, but the map is right next to the transition. Could have been a way to turn this around. But it seems like Path is just gonna keep this lead. Path does have a third super pack now. So that is enough to not have to worry about Zebs at all. Zebatites. Oh no, F gets an enrage. See, where are my buttons? Maybe I can fix the racer links. Microphone means commentary. Mouse clicker means tracker. Would charge wave plasma be more damage than a missile Doppler? So charge wave plasma is going to be 750 damage. And you can think of that as the same as a 7 missile Doppler. And 7 is almost the top end of a missile Doppler, if you're not going for heavy stutter Dopplers. So most of the time it is better than a missile Doppler. So in this case, I would try to do a 2 missile and then 2 missile and then charge shot, followed by 2 missile, mini Doppler, super kill. Sponge already at the Fantoon fight. So it kind of matters how Path's ammo does when he runs into Mother Brain, and if speed skip works. Sponge's beam is going to be doing 900 damage, so you don't even... You can do 2 charge shots and... So like 2 missile charge, 2 missile charge. And that'll just end the fight. That's kind of the easier way. Unfortunately, not hitting these patterns. And that Doppler was not a Doppler. So charge shot would have been a lot stronger for sure. That work? Okay. Yeah, again, Sponge going for the Doppler where the beam is just going to be a lot stronger. But these are the runners. Half on the left. Super Sponge on the right. Gonna be a sub-hour seed for sure. Track. Because all the bosses are down for both runners. Sub 50, maybe. Depends. It's kind of a long escape. Okay, so Path needs to keep damage in mind right now. And do mostly missiles for these Zebs. But also, it's fine. So it doesn't matter. Against Zebs, Supers are going to be doing 300, but against Mother Brain, it's 600. So it just needs to do 36 missiles, 6 for the glass, and then 30 for the damage. And we're going to be in. If his health falls below 120, like gets into the... goes under the E-tank, then he does have to manually refill before Rainbow. But otherwise, fine. When reserves fill, they take you to full health and then just throw away the rest of the energy in the reserve. So we need to see a pause. Absolutely need to see a pause. Okay. Also needs to not overfill. Alright, Path's fine. And now we're just into the escape. So this is... I wonder if the map's tricky at all. That could be interesting. It's fairly far. Yeah, so we're not going to get sub 50. But it is going to be really fast times. It was a super fast seed. Sponge on the way up to... Well, the Brain has to run all the way back to Wreck Ship. It'd be interesting to see what the fastest times in the lobby is. This is a 8-person race. We're just showing off. Half and Sponge here. And yeah. So this is the Rando escape experience. The world is still randomized, but you've been spending 50 minutes running around in it. So you need to find your way back to the ship. We do play with ship start, but that is a setting that you don't have to have on. You can play with random start if you want. Map Rando is very customizable. A Sponge finds the Mother Brain room. Has ice for the Zeb skip. Probably gonna do that. Easy trick. Yeah. Probably not too far apart overall. We do need to see the same thing for Sponge of not falling below 100 health or Rainbow Beam comes in. We're back in the East Meridia elevator room. Fun. On the top difficulties, there's logic for... What is it? Like our mode finishes. Light Pillar is one, and I think just regular R mode. But if you're in R mode, then you can save 2 ticks of Rainbow Beam, so 2 health. And that's enough to skip an E-tank, or skip a reserve tank. It only matters if you have reserves. And Light Pillar is something similar, but that's if you have all reserves and no E-tanks. That's something that was added recently. And Light Pillar has a cool visual effect too, of an actual Light Pillar. That's why it's named that. Feel free to read through the strat names on the Map Rando site. Some of them look cool. But that's going to be a win for PAF. 51-minute finish here. And Sponge into the escape. Somewhat lengthy, but not the longest we've seen for sure. GG to PAF. And it looks like that is second place overall. No, got a 47.58. Half of the 51.06. And only those two are finished. So Sponge could get third. Very solid time. 51 minutes. Anything sub-hour you're going to feel good about. Really wants this short charge. If you short charge in the acid, you probably run out of energy on this perk. Now needs to avoid any spikes that happen to be in the escape. You're never expecting to die in the escape. But in this case, we had one E-tank and used it all up on acid damage and Shine Spark frames. Oh no. Lava dive coming up. Some big scary heated rooms, but we have both suits. Gravity and Varia, you're immune to the lava damage. Not acid, lava. Yeah. I fixed the bot command, so if you want to follow the runners, there you go. Half off walk. The Sponge 253. We're in the Map Rando tournament that is coming to an end tomorrow. That's worth talking about. Big Map Rando tournament is part of SpeedGaming Live Online. We're gonna have the grand finals tomorrow night. Yeah, with scheduling all these last week of races. The the Nevdiosity race was yesterday. So we're already into the grand finals tomorrow, Sunday night, 5 Eastern. So yeah, excited for that. That's gonna be fun. Nice. So Sponge gets 3rd place with 54 minutes. GG Sponge. V114. Probably not that soon. The logic changes I was working on, I haven't really done much. I was fully into tournament stuff. Matto and Kyle have been doing like partial features, so they're not quite done yet. Matto's done a lot of temporary blue suit threats. Kyle was doing flash suit. So firstly, those aren't done, but also I don't know that we have a reason to push a new version. But there are some neat features on the dev site, like the 4-tier map icons. That's something that a couple of people wanted. Joined by the Super Sponge, the
Hello.
guy.
Oh.
Welcome.
I goofed at the end there. I completely forgot about Brinstar.
You did, but at what point were you, like, in hindsight, at what point do you want to go to Brinstar in this seed?
It's, I suppose, looking at it in hindsight, yeah. I probably
You
would
get,
have peaked it after I first hit Big Pink there.
yeah, the Meridian map. That would have worked out extremely well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because I wouldn't need the map first. Yeah. Yeah, I just, when I was looking at the map after getting the Meridian map, I didn't even notice Brinstar. So as I'm
Aw.
sitting in wrecked ship, I'm looking around frantically trying to figure out what place didn't I get the map for? I don't have Fantoon, and then I see that green bead. Whoops.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I feel.
Fantoon's. Oh, it just adds insult to injury with Fantoon being pretty much right in Brinstar
Yep.
in the
Yeah, right there.
ship. Yeah.
The way I was looking at the seed a lot of the time, it was like you need to go back for a boss before continuing. Starting with the Dragon. I think it was on your side. You did the Dragon fight right away, and Path collected all the items in the region, and then went back and had a much faster fight.
Yeah, mine was pretty slow.
Yeah, you made it
I
through.
figured. Yeah, figured
Good job
may
with
as
it.
well. Don't know what's up next, so.
And then also with Ridley and later Braid, like you got the charge plasma wave, like not too far away from Ridley,
Right.
and so I was viewing that as you could go back and get your 3 boss kills total
I
before
was.
continuing to look for Mother Brain Phantoon.
Yep.
And
I was
that's like pretty much what
considering.
Path did.
Yeah, I was considering going back after getting Wave and Plasma, but I figured I'd get the map. Then I was tempted by those Sandpit Majors, and then it just kind of went on from there.
I was wondering about the Sandpit majors. Like, how much value did you have on the majors at that point?
Not a whole
What were
lot.
you looking for?
I think Ice was in one of them, right?
Yeah, Ice was left and High Jump was right.
That's right, High Jump. Kept High Jump just because of quality of life. But yeah, I didn't need them, but I figured it'd wrap around to the lower left of Aqueduct pretty quickly. So I figured,
Yeah, I
I'll
agree.
save and I'll look at them. And high jump was the first one I got. Figured, I'll keep that. It's handy. Then I'll save, check the other one. Ice, okay, that's good for Zeb skips, so I'll just keep that too. But yeah, you could skip them and still be fine. But I figured, I'll keep them for the comfort.
Yep. And it turns out you couldn't do a easy speed zeb skip with this map layout, so Ice helped with that.
I did.
Yep. Half had to blow their way through missiles.
Oh. Yeah, overall, little mess ups in the beginning, dying to a crab pretty early on, and then not going back to early supers right after getting speed booster. That's a little silly, but at least they turn around soon enough after hitting parlor.
Sure.
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I not too disappointed with that one. Little
Yeah,
things
it's
here and
a
there.
good race.
I
Good
was
showing
nervous at
between.
Mother Brain,
Oh yeah.
wondering if the trying to do the math on whether the reserves were gonna give me enough because I only had one E tank and 3 reserves, and then. But yeah, turned out fine. Turned out fine.
Yeah, on the PAF side, they also had one E tank and multiple reserves. But he fell below 100 health in the main E tank, and so in that
Oh.
situation, it's important to manually refill above 100.
Yep.
Just because of how the reserve is going to refill you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an uncommon situation that you have to think about for sure.
Yep. Luckily, didn't happen to me.
um, yeah, good race. Nice time, 54 minutes. So GG.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, look forward to the next race. Hopefully, do even better.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, that'll be it from us here on the Map Rando community weekly races that are being shown on SpeedGaming. Every Wednesday night, Saturday night, or whatever this time is, Saturday, is when they take place, and people are open to join. Things are right now it's hard tricky. I'm thinking about maybe changing up the settings from time to time, show off more of the modes available in Map Rando. But for now, this is what we have, so don't worry about it too much. And with that, I think we're just done here. Going to close out the channel. Tune into the Map Rando Grand Finals tomorrow night. You'll want to tune in for that. It's a best of 5 asterisks. So lots of excellent gameplay to see. And yeah, we're done here. So good night.